Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to We Are Free TV, the channel of the people, by the people, for the people, where many interesting people are invited to talk about different subjects, aliens, channeling, new age subjects, alternative medicine, alternative this, alternative that, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, economics, alternative anything which is to do with the fifth dimension and the raising of the human frequency and DNA strands and junk DNA and science and quantum physics and quantum mechanics and you name it, you could talk about it on our channel. So everybody is invited to contact us. We have a website called We Are Free TV. You're welcome to go there, to click on Join Us. Well, if you go to We Are Free TV, you will see the Hebrew version. So just click on English on the left side and then click on Join Us and send us your email so we can notify you with every new interview. Also, we have a Telegram group called No Censorship TV. Highly recommended that you join that group as well. And of course, please share this interview wherever you possibly can, on TikTok, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, Telegram, emails. Talk to your friends about it so we can spread the message. Thank you very much. And today we have a very interesting interview. I have a bit of a celebrity. His name is Glauber Contessoto, also known as the Dogecoin Millionaire. The name of the interview is the Doge interview, a talk with Glauber Contessoto about the Dogecoin community, do only good every day, Elon Musk, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more. So, hello there, Glauber. How are you today?
Hey, how's it going? I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. I heard the president of El Salvador announcing Bitcoin as legal tender as of today. Hooray! I could go to a restaurant in El Salvador and buy a pizza with Bitcoin, and the owner of the restaurant has to legally accept it.
Yes, that's amazing news. That's great. And it's only a matter of time before it goes from Bitcoin to Dogecoin. So we'll get there.
Yeah, of course. So before we talk about Dogecoin, this is all about Dogecoin, since you are the Dogecoin millionaire, just a few words, about crypto in general and maybe the founding father, the respectful Bitcoin, just a few sentences.
Yes, no. I love Bitcoin. I love Ethereum. I love cryptocurrency in general. I feel like cryptocurrency is the future. I feel like we're headed in that direction. And eventually, at some point, we'll be able to use it as legal tenders everywhere we go. So I'm excited for cryptocurrency for sure.
Right. Okay. Perfect. I can't argue with that. So can you please explain to our viewers that aren't already familiar with Dogecoin, what is it about and how you first became involved with it personally?
Dogecoin was created in 2013 as a joke in the beginning, just because at that time there was so much seriousness around the world of cryptocurrency. So, these two guys decided to get together and put together their own version of a cryptocurrency and put a meme as the face of it. And there you go. There's Dogecoin. So it's been around for quite some time. A lot of people don't know that. And it's, withstood the test of time, and it's been around highs and lows, but it's always been there. It has a very strong community of people backing it. Long before Elon Musk ever made a single tweet about Dogecoin, there was a community there. There was a backbone there. There was a cult following there. And I feel like now the whole world is starting to get to know Dogecoin and get introduced to it and starting to learn about it, but it's been around for quite some time.
Yeah. And the meme is of a dog.
Yes, the meme is of a Shiba Inu dog. The original meme was actually the owner took a picture of their dog and they posted it on the internet. The internet ran wild with it. It was a picture, and on the picture there were Comic Sans fonts of what a dog would think or what we think a dog would say in certain situations. So you have certain things like much wow, very money, like so crazy, or like these little things that we would think, oh, this is how a dog would think. So it was hilarious. It was funny. It was probably one of the original memes, to be honest with you. And I feel like it was an ode to memes, and it still is to this day. So when you're investing and when you're buying into Dogecoin, you're almost buying into the world of memes. And Doge was the originator and one of the very first memes out there.
And I even heard that the actual dog is alive.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog is still alive and the owner's still there, posting pictures of the dog. And it's amazing because, like I said, it was one of the first memes ever, and it just kind of took a life of its own. So that was the first time that you had a meme, attached to a kind of currency, cryptocurrency, and it kind of took a life of its own after that.
Yeah, amazing. So let's talk a bit about you. I actually listened to a very interesting podcast about your life and how you started out, and that you were kind of from a poor background and you tried to make money and buy a house. And you failed, and you kept failing, and you did all these self-development, courses or whatever to actually manage to buy your house, and something went wrong, and then something amazing happened. So maybe just very generally, could you tell us about yourself and your background and your life?
Yeah, for sure. So I was born in Brazil. My family's Brazilian. Growing up, I was about, I was 6 years old when we actually made the official move to the United States. My dad was an opera singer at the time. He got a scholarship to go to school, like a full ride scholarship to sing at the school. We kind of followed him over here. My mom, early on, we had to make money, so she started cleaning houses. She actually cleans houses to this day. And the only person that ever got a college degree, in our family was my dad. So my mom never graduated high school, aunts, uncles, like we don't have that, luxury of being able to go to college in Brazil. It's a lot harder there actually than it is here. And so we kind of just made ends meet. My dad was going to college full time. My mom was kind of holding down the household by cleaning houses and making the money. My dad graduated with a degree in music, and if you know music, there's not a whole lot of money in music. And so he was, doing jobs here and there. My mom was still working, and we just kind of got by. We always just kind of got by. And growing up, I shared a room with my sister until I was 13. Like, my parents didn't even have a room. They had the back end of an apartment where we had to put up a divider to give them some privacy. And very tiny little spot, and we just kind of, making ends meet. So growing up, I wanted to know why we didn't have more. That was something huge. That was like a driving force. Like, why are we poor? Why are we always on a budget? Why can't we have money? Like, I see friends of mine, I see other people with money, and I'm always trying to figure out how can we get to that level. So even to the point where I remember being 8 years old, kind of fed up going out to the store, and I can't buy toys. I can't, buy things. And I remember asking my dad, like, where's the money going? Like, what, like, why don't we have money? And so he sat down with me at the dinner table. We took out a piece of paper, and he wrote down, I make X amount of money per month. Your mother makes X amount of money per month. And this is what we pay. We pay for the car. We pay for rent. We went down the list of all the things we had to pay for. And I remember we got to a certain part in the list where it said piano lessons. So my parents really wanted me and my sister to take some type of instrument. And so we had a family friend that gave us a huge discount. And it was $50 for me for three lessons a month, and $50 for my sister, 3 lessons a month. And I remember getting to that part, and I'm like, Dad, just cross that off the list. That's $100. We're saving $100 there. Like, let's make sure we're only spending money on what we need to. So that was a huge.
What did he say to
point
that?
In my life.
What was his reaction? I'm wondering.
My dad just kind of laughed it off and was like, it's important for you guys to learn an instrument.
Yeah.
I didn't understand at the time, but now I get it, coming from,
Can you play the piano
process of a parent
today?
I could play a little bit. I could a little bit. I remember a few little things, but yeah, those were kind of like, my upbringing.
Yeah. Okay. And then you left home at what age?
Okay. So then I left home I actually went to school. I went to community college in Tennessee, and my parents didn't have money for me to go to school, so I was just putting in the money that I had made working construction, working flooring, working dead end jobs, and paying my own way through college. It got to the point where my money was gone. I couldn't even afford to pay it anymore. So I remember moving back home in Maryland with my mother and just kind of trying to figure things out. And I started shooting music videos. So I bought a camera and I learned how to shoot and edit. I learned off of YouTube. I Googled how to do it. And I was just kind of going around town just shooting for this artist, this rapper. And I'm shooting and editing for all these people for like $150, $200 a video, like just small change here and there. And I remember that it got to a point where I found this artist on YouTube and I thought he was amazing. He was the best, rapper, best artist that I had met so far. And I reached out to him to work with him for free. I was like, I'll do a video for you for free. So we get together, we start working together. I end up managing him. And we're running around Maryland, Maryland, Virginia, DC area, trying to get gigs, trying to get him a record label. Nothing happened for a few years. And it wasn't until I picked up and moved to LA that I was like, look, we're going to figure it out some way. And we have to leave Maryland to make it work. So I'm out of here in LA. I'm sleeping on couches. I'm sleeping on 4 different couches. Friends are here. You can stay here. You can stay here. I'm going all over the place. And within a year, I was able to get him a record deal with this label. So it's really been an uphill battle this entire time because I'm just trying to make ends meet while pursuing this dream and trying to help this artist that I'm managing at the same time.
Okay. So what about wanting to buy a house and all that and not having the money to do it?
Yeah. So my biggest goal at that time was I would like to buy a house that's big enough where these artists that I'm managing can come and live there and they don't have to worry about rent. They don't have to worry about food. We'll take care of all that stuff. All they have to do is be creative and create the greatest possible music that they can. Right. So that was the goal. So every single time, I'm working, I'm saving up money. For a few years, that's all I'm doing until I'm trying to buy a house. So that's when that comes into play. In 2019, I had a little bit of money saved up to be able to put, a down payment on a house. So I'm calling realtors, I'm going to open houses, I'm finding places, I'm trying to find something that works, that fits with enough rooms for everybody. And if you know California, it's expensive. So it's hard for me to even find anything that works. So, I keep getting turned down for mortgage loans because, I don't have a huge credit history. I don't have all these things that, most people do when they go into getting a house. So I keep getting turned down. And it gets to the point where I realize, look, maybe I'm just shooting too high. Maybe these houses I'm looking at are too expensive. Let me look for something a little bit smaller, right? So I go from looking at $500,000 range, which is a very small house here in California, to 300,000 range, right? Which is even smaller, but maybe if I get far enough, I can get a little bit bigger house, just not as close to, the central LA area. So I start looking. I find a house in the woods, in the mountains of Pasadena, and it's 300,000. I'm like, okay, I have enough to put down 20% of this house for the down payment, right? Which is what everyone was requiring at the time. So I'm like, this is it. This is the one. I'm putting, my money into this. This is going to work out. So I called the realtor that I've been working with, and I'm like, hey, let's get this house. This is my last chance at this. I, got turned down 2, 3, 4, 5 different times. So this is it. This is the one. So the realtor says, okay, let me call and make the offer. The very next day, she calls me back and she says, guess what? I said, what? She said, they want the full amount of the house. Uh-huh. Like they want just cash payment. And obviously I couldn't do that. And so that was a sign to me that said, it's not the time to get a house. You tried everything in your power. You did everything right to get to this point, and it's still not working out. That's because this is not meant to be right now. Yep. And so I left it alone. And that was in 2019. No, I believe that was in 2020. in the spring of 2020. And so the beginning of this year in 2021, I was like, it's been a year. Let's try again. I saved up a little bit of more money. I can attempt this once again. Around January, when I'm looking for houses, I find out about GameStop. And I start looking at it, and I think it's interesting. And I see what's happening on the Reddit, and I see these people getting together. It's the little people versus the big guy. Let's stick it to the hedge funds.
So what is GameStop? Just for the sake of people who don't know what it is, in a nutshell.
For people who don't know, GameStop is a video game company that was trending towards. It was trending downward, right? Because it's a brick and mortar store. Yeah, exactly. In the stock market, it's going down in price because it's a brick and mortar store. So people have to physically walk in and buy games and video games and stuff. And, the way the future is going, everything's online. Everything is streaming. You have Netflix. You have all these other, companies that are streaming online. So it's going away from the physical stores. Yeah. So that's why it was declining and GameStop was going down. And so you had these hedge funds that were like, GameStop looks like it's going to fail. Within the next year or so, it's going to completely fail, the whole company. So they're betting against it. They're saying, you know what? It's going to fail. Let's put money saying that it's going to fail.
These are the bad guys, the rich, the fat cats, the Wall Street,
the billionaires.
Rich, yeah.
Multi-millionaire billionaires who don't need any more money in their account. I don't know why they do this.
Just manipulating they're the ones everything.
Doing Exactly. So we have the little guy like me, we're coming together and saying, you know what? Let's buy up the GameStop. Let's buy GameStop. So they lose their money and we make the money.
Because they were betting against it. They were hedging against, meaning there's a way on the stock market. If you think something's going to go down, you could sell it before you buy it, and then when it goes down you rebuy it, and then you make huge gains. But the little guys came together because they knew what the bad guys, the fat cats, whatever, the stock market, the Wall Street, what do you call it, the wolf of Wall Street are planning to do. And they screwed them by basically ganging together, buying all the stock, and then it made it go up. So the big guys lost a huge amount of money.
It was working. It was working for quite some time. Like we were sticking it to the man. We were doing it right until some illegal activity took place. So a lot of people don't know this, but I invested in GameStop. I put down $20,000 in GameStop. And the very next day, Robinhood disabled the buy button. So you are no longer allowed to buy more GameStop
Robinhood is an exchange. It's an online exchange.
Robinhood is an app, is an exchange where you can buy and sell stocks.
Yeah.
So they disabled the button for you to buy GameStop. You can no longer buy GameStop.
Ridiculous.
And there's a lot of people like myself who use this app, who use Robinhood to buy stocks. So we couldn't buy anymore.
So the big guys, what happens to the big rich guys told GameStop basically, stop doing Robinhood. This. We decide because we have the money and we want to influence this and we want to stop now, which is illegal.
Yes,
but they don't care. And they don't care, do they?
They don't care. So the price starts to drop, and I lose $10,000 in my GameStop investment, right? And shortly after that, I discovered Dogecoin, and I'm thinking Dogecoin is going to be the next GameStop, but this time we don't have hedge funds going against us because we're in the cryptocurrency space. There's no ceilings here.
And how did you discover it? What was the moment you...
I discovered GameStop from the Reddit.
Dogecoin.
I discovered Dogecoin from the Reddit group GameStop. So, let me say it again. I discovered Dogecoin from the Wall Street Bets Reddit, where I found out about GameStop. So in the same Reddit group, I'm over there, and then I see a little post. Somebody made a post saying, hey, did Dogecoin ever go to $1? And I'm like, Dogecoin? What is Dogecoin? I've heard the name before, it rings a bell. Let me find out. Let me do some research.
Yeah.
And that's when I start looking into Dogecoin. I see how long it's been around. I see it's lasted, the test of time. I go back on the graphs. I see 2013, 2014. I look at the trends. I see which way it's going, up, down, but it always goes a little bit higher than the year before. It never really goes back down to what it was in 2013. And I see an upward trend here. So I'm interested in Dogecoin, right? But I still don't know everything about it. So what do? I put in $40. I put $40 into Dogecoin when it's at 1 penny. The very next day, it goes from 1 penny to 8 pennies, to 8 cents, right? So I see my $40 turn to 100, turn to 150, turn to 200, 250, 300, 350. And I'm seeing this rise and I'm saying, oh my God, I've bought stocks before. This has never happened to any stock that I've ever purchased. This is crazy. Like, I have to look more into this because now it piqued my interest even more.
Yeah.
And so I took the next week to do as much research as possible before I got to the point where I decided to put, my entire life savings into Dogecoin.
How much was that? 30,000?
$250,000.
Wow. So when was that? And how much was Dogecoin at that point?
At that point, Dogecoin was about 4 cents.
Okay.
So I did this on February 5th, 2021.
Okay. Now, apparently you are the first person in 2021 to make $1 million from Dogecoin. How on earth did that happen?
So putting that amount of money into Dogecoin, it took me 69 days to become a millionaire. I didn't think like I said, I studied the graphs. I had my own bullish thesis on the world and what the future holds, and thinking cryptocurrency is the future. This is an area that I would like to invest in. And I saw Dogecoin having a very important place in the future of cryptocurrency. So it was me looking at the graphs, noticing the trends, me deciding what I think the future holds and believing in Dogecoin, and Elon Musk, who is one of the richest people in the world, choosing Dogecoin to support and back it and encourage, the rise of Dogecoin. Yeah. And so these three elements came together for me to finally make that decision into actually putting that much money into Dogecoin. And 2 months later, I became a millionaire. I thought it was going to take 8 months. I thought it was going to take a year. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when.
Unbelievable. Okay, so let's talk about the Dogecoin community. I mean, what are your thoughts on the community that supports Dogecoin and the key people in that community that are helping to drive it forward? So who are these key people and what do you think about them and what do you think about the community in general?
Dogecoin has an incredible community behind it. A lot of people don't know that, but that's one of the biggest driving forces of its success. So this same community has been around since 2013. You're looking at 8 years of people supporting and buying into Dogecoin. A lot of people are finding it out for the first time now, but this has been going on for quite some time. So I have a video on my YouTube, the Dogecoin Millionaire, back in February 5th. The very next day, I made the YouTube video right after I invested everything into Dogecoin. And in that video, I described exactly why I decided to make that decision, right? So one of the reasons that I have in the video is the community. So this is a community of people that aren't money hungry. These are people that want to do only good every day. These are people that use Dogecoin and in that community. And what they do is they give money to charity. They fund races. They help people. They donate money. They're just all around good-hearted people, for the most part, and they want to see things do well. And they're willing to donate to charity. They're willing to help, struggling businesses out. So is this a group of people that I would like to be a part of? Yes. And I feel like the overall theme around Dogecoin is just being a good-hearted, good-natured person who wants to help your fellow neighbor.
Karma. You do good and then good comes back to you in the form of Dogecoin going up.
Exactly.
What about the leaders or the leading figures of the community? So obviously Elon Musk. Who else? Now you.
Elon
who else?
Musk. Me, sure. Elon Musk. Me. Mark Cuban is also a big.
Who's he?
Supporter. Mark Cuban is a billionaire who owns the Mavericks. It's a basketball team. And he's, a big voice in the Dogecoin community as well. He went on the Ellen show talking about Dogecoin. And he's a billionaire. So he's another very prominent figure in the Dogecoin community as well. So you got Elon Musk, you got Mark Cuban, you have companies like Slim Jim. Like Slim Jim is a company here that is beef jerky. They sell beef jerky, and they've been a big backer of Dogecoin as well and in support of Dogecoin. You have companies like Snickers, you have companies like Axe. So there's a lot of companies that are popping up and wanting to be in support of Dogecoin.
And how is their support done? I mean, how do they do it? What do they do? How do they support it?
You also have the core people in the Dogecoin community, right? So these are people that maybe not everyone knows about, but they're driving forces as well. So you have an account on Twitter, It's All Risky, and It's All Risky always posts about Dogecoin, always supports Dogecoin, is a big figure in the Dogecoin community. You also have Matt Wallace, who has a channel called Final Stand on YouTube. He posts about Dogecoin 24/7. Everything he talks about is Dogecoin, educating people, teaching people about Dogecoin. You have you have Mia Khalifa, who also talks about Dogecoin all the time. You have Soulja Boy, you have Lil Yachty, you have these Justin Bieber talked about Dogecoin. So there's a lot of celebrities that are also backing the coin as well. Snoop Dogg's another one, also a supporter of Dogecoin.
So basically they help with the publicity and public relations, which is a good thing to market anything. Now, what about the actual company behind it? Like with Bitcoin, as we know, there's nobody. With Ethereum, you have what's his name, Vitalik, and Cardano is Hoskinson, Charles, and all these cryptos are always associated with a certain company that is developing it. Now, what I know is that Dogecoin itself as a technology, there's nothing special about it. It's like another Bitcoin, which is like many other chains. But who's developing it? What is there, like a core of developers and like a plan?
There's a core. Yes, there's a core team of developers developing Dogecoin and making it better and better. Faster transfer speeds, lower rates, and also Elon Musk is personally helping out the dev team. He's in there with the developers. He's made tweets. He's talking about, hey, working with the Dogecoin developers to make it better, make it faster, make it more secure. So you have Elon Musk actually putting in the work to make Dogecoin work as well. He's not just shooting out tweets just for the sake of shooting out tweets. He's actually personally invested in the growth of Dogecoin.
And is that a threat to it being decentralized?
I don't think it's a threat to anything changing like that about it. Do I think that eventually the government's going to want to regulate cryptocurrencies in general? Yes, I believe that will happen at some point because they're going to want a piece of it. So I understand that happening at some point, but it will happen when it happens. It'll happen to all cryptocurrencies. Yeah. So if there ends up being some sort of a dive or some sort of a dip once that occurs, it's not only going to affect Dogecoin, it's going to affect Bitcoin, it's going to affect Ethereum.
Yeah, no, I guess what I meant with him, I should rephrase the question. I thought maybe if one rich guy is backing anything, then it might not be completely objective. He might be trying to promote his own interests in some way, but then again, I guess he wouldn't, because people would know that, and then Dogecoin would be shooting himself in the foot, because the whole idea of cryptos is that it's decentralized and anyone can use it and trustless and all that. So why would he change it? He could go and support the CBDC instead. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I believe that Elon Musk holds a certain amount of Dogecoin? Sure. Is he able to expose that and say that about himself? I guess if he wanted to.
Why not?
But I don't feel like that will have that much of an impact on the overall outlook of the cryptocurrency, because Elon Musk is one of the main, people supporting the coin, but Dogecoin isn't a company. It's not like Tesla, right? So you don't have like a CEO of Dogecoin. So there's not a situation where it'd be at any risk of him, going against the law for any reason.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Good. And what else? So with the recent success of Dogecoin in the cryptocurrency space, we have heard that as many as 41,000 businesses are now accepting Dogecoin for goods and services. What are your thoughts on it being accepted as a future global method of transaction?
That's the dream. That's what I see the future holding at some point. Sure, will it take 2-3 years? Maybe it'll take 5 years. Maybe it'll take 10 years. I don't know, but I see the future being in that direction. So it's only a matter of time when it ends up happening. My biggest thing was when I first invested in Dogecoin, I thought of going into something like this with a long-term goal in mind, right? This wasn't something I was going to invest in and take my money out in a month, or go invest in and take my money out in 6 months. This was a long-term play for me. So in doing so, my thought process was, okay, I'm going to millionaire at some point, right? It could take a year, it could take 2 years, I don't know. The fact that it actually happened in about 2 months made me realize maybe this is even bigger than I imagined it was. Because if I'm as positive about Dogecoin, if I'm as bullish on it as I am, and it exceeds my very expectations of it, it's got to be bigger than I believe it even is.
Okay. So how did you technically do this? I mean, where did you buy it? On Binance or what? Or Gemini?
I bought Dogecoin. I bought Dogecoin on Robinhood.
On Robinhood.
So
okay.
I had been using the Robinhood app for a few years at that point. I started in 2019. In 2019, I bought Tesla. Tesla was my very first stock that I bought in Robinhood. And over the years, I began to buy more stocks, and I began to buy more stocks, and I began to buy more stocks. And it got to a point where I was able to make a substantial amount of money in these stocks. So Tesla, Uber, Carnival Cruise Lines, Revolve, all these companies that I have been investing in made me quite a good amount of money in return. So when I was ready to invest everything in Dogecoin, it just so happened that Robinhood allowed you to buy and sell Dogecoin within its app. So it was very easy for me to liquidate everything and just sell out of all of my stocks and take that money and put it in a Dogecoin within the same app.
I see. And in terms of taxation, as far as I know, now it is pretty regulated, the crypto market. Whenever you buy, that's why I asked, how did you buy it? If you buy it through a regulated app, you have to upload know your customer, that you upload your passport, and they know exactly who you are. Every transaction you make is taken note of, and the Inland Revenue can come and inspect everything in all the records of these exchanges, including Robinhood. So you are meant to be, I believe, you're meant to be paying capital gains on your stock market profits, and the same thing applies to cryptocurrencies only if you sell. Right. So I guess in your case now it's easier because you just bought Dogecoin and you're sitting on it. You're not trading with it. Yeah. So you don't have to pay any taxes until you sell. Exactly.
If I was to sell out of all my Dogecoin right now out of Robinhood and take the cash money for it, I would be paying upwards of 40% for taxes, right? So short-term capital gains in the US is 40% of everything I make.
Move to Israel. If I was 25% here.
or Puerto Rico or Brazil, where it's
even better.
So I could do that, or if I wait for a full year, that 40% turns into 15%. So it's a huge drastic change, which is a big reason, because it goes from short-term capital gains tax and it becomes long-term capital gains tax. Okay. So if you wait at least a year, it transfers over from 40% taxes to 15%.
Amazing. That's even better, because anyway, you have no plans on selling it anytime soon. So you're laughing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, how was it in the days when you were trading? Because when you were buying other stocks, I guess you were buying and selling short term. So how were you reporting to the Inland Revenue, all that? The IRS?
When I was doing those things, so when I was buying and selling stocks within Robinhood, I still wasn't taking out any cash. I was doing it all within the app. Okay. So this is all still liquid money. So if I'm buying a stock and then I'm selling it and I'm making money on top of that stock, I'm still not taking any profit any physical cash money profit.
see.
Everything is still in the stock market. So I never liquidated anything. I never took anything out. So I never had to pay anything as far as,
So basically,
capital gains
if
tax.
you, let's say you have $1,000 in your bank account, you then transfer it to Robinhood. You play around with it. You buy and sell. You make it. You inflate it to $7,000, and now it's in virtual dollars in Robinhood. As long as it's in Robinhood, it never happened. As soon as you withdraw it back to your bank, and now you have $7,000 in your bank, then you made $6,000 on top of the 1,000, and that's how you pay. Perfect, easy peasy.
Yep.
I see. Okay, so just a little bit more about Elon Musk. Tell us about Elon Musk. I mean, what do you think of him as a person? Because I see you bought Tesla, you say, and now now his involvement in Dogecoin. What are your thoughts about him and his relationship? Well, you did say with Dogecoin. Just let's finish off Elon Musk. Whatever you have to say about Elon Musk, now is the time.
I personally think that Elon Musk is a genius. There are people that like him, there are people that don't like him, and that's fine. I look at the work. Yep. I look at the proof, right? The proof of concept there, right? I look at a person who took a car company, an electric car company that a lot of people doubted, a lot of people thought were going to fail, a lot of people thought, the interest in electric cars was fading, and this company was never going to be profitable, bet against this man. So I witnessed from the sidelines, well, I had some money in Tesla because I believed in him, but I witnessed this all happening and seeing him take a car company that was supposed to fail, a lot of experts said that, to becoming the richest car company in the whole world. If you combine all the car companies, Tesla is still worth more than that. So is this somebody who, I just saw him do this, and now he's supporting Dogecoin? Is this somebody who I want to bet on? Is this somebody who I believe is going to be a positive and in support of Dogecoin? Yes. Mm-hmm. This is somebody who I want to put, I want to be able to support him because he's shown that he can do what a lot of people doubted it.
Plus, he's doing
in the first place.
SpaceX, I heard, and sending satellites.
He's got SpaceX. He's doing tunnels. He's doing tunnels in California to get you from one place to another like 100 times faster, so you don't have to sit in traffic. He's solving the traffic problems out in California. He's got solar powered panels. He's trying to help with, the energy, the solar power, being more green. Like, this is also somebody with SpaceX. He's trying to travel to Mars. He's trying to, advance technology in that aspect. So this is somebody who really wants to change the world for the better and who really wants to do good. And he's shown that he can do that with a company like Tesla.
Okay. That's it about Elon Musk. I agree. And just back to your coins, I'm sure you heard of hot wallets and cold wallets.
Yes.
So are you keeping all your Dogecoin within Robinhood? That's risky. What if Robinhood goes bust? Or if the Inland Revenue or the government decides to seize all the money of all the accounts? Because, if it's not your keys, it's not your Bitcoin. So if it's not your keys, it's not your Dogecoin.
Very true. If it's not your coin, if it's not your keys, it's not your coin. That is the most accurate statement ever. And people ask me that all the time. People ask me, hey, why do you have it in the Robinhood exchange? My reasoning for why this is the situation that I'm in right now is because, like I said, I had a bunch of stocks in Robinhood. So me selling off my stocks to buy the Dogecoin was a very easy transition of my money and a transfer of my money. At the time, when I initially had done that, I wasn't aware that you couldn't move crypto in and out of Robinhood in crypto form. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know wallets. I didn't know any of those things. So once I came to realize, okay, all of my Dogecoin is inside of this exchange and I can't move it. I can't send it to a wallet or anything. Why not? Robinhood doesn't allow you to move cryptocurrency in and out of Robinhood in cryptocurrency form.
Really?
So they have their wallet.
Oh my God. Yes. Well, actually, that means they're heavily regulated.
That's a big issue. So they have, since then, they have come out and said they're going to make it available. They said they're going to find a solution for the crypto to be able to send it in and out of Robinhood, just like a lot of other exchanges do, right? So they're still coming up with that with that solution. In the meantime, whatever it was that I bought into Dogecoin inside of Robinhood is stuck in the Robinhood wallet.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for them to open up the wallets for me to move it in
But
and
you're
out.
welcome
But
to.
I tell people, don't put.
Yeah, people don't
Go
put.
ahead.
People don't put.
Yeah, I'm telling people, do not. If you buy, and it's not just Robinhood. If you buy in Binance, if you buy on Kraken, if you buy on Crypto.com, the app, whatever exchange it is that you choose to buy your Dogecoin in, do not leave it in the exchange, because if the exchange just gets hacked, something happens, you lose everything. So as soon as you buy whatever crypto it is that you want to buy, you want to make sure you transfer that to your own wallet, whether it's, on a cloud or on the internet, or you put it in a cold wallet and you actually have it on a physical hardware.
Yeah,
like it's those are the best two options to have.
Nano X.
Nano, exactly.
Also a piece of paper. With Bitcoin, you could have a piece of paper which is encrypted as well and printed on two papers, and one in one country and one in another. If you're really, and make sure you laminate it.
Whatever you do not keep your cryptocurrency inside of exchanges. Yes. As soon as I'm able to move my Dogecoin out of Robinhood, better believe the day that it happens, I will move it all into my own wallet, which I already have.
But if you really wanted to do this now, you could sell it for cash, withdraw the cash, and then quickly go and buy it on an exchange that allows you to move it out of, and move it out of it.
And pay short-term capital gains tax
as soon as
because
I'd
have to pay 40% as soon as it becomes cash.
Shoot. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
You're still a very lucky man, and everything's going to be fine. And Robin is not going anywhere, and Dogecoin is here to stay, and I'm sure it's all going to be fine. So let's talk about the recent crash that people say was largely caused by China's recent ban. And also after that, I'd add Trump's statement about the dollar and Bitcoin being a scam. So what do you think of all these manipulations and whales and media coming out with all that crap often?
Well, my take on it is these things are going to happen, right? There's going to be good news, bad news, good news, bad news. There's going to be, bans, this, that, and the third. It's going to happen. So I feel like some people have in their mind that they can buy Dogecoin or buy any crypto and it's going to be an easy ride, right? They're just going to go like this and never lose any money, or it'll never dip. And that's the worst way to think about it. These things are going to happen, and crypto is going to continue to go up, go down, go up, go down. Right now, Dogecoin is at a low. We're in the 30s, right? But if we take Dogecoin, it being in the 30-cent range right now, we take Dogecoin and we look back 5 months ago, 6 months ago in January, where it was, Dogecoin was under 1 penny in January, under a penny. Right now it's at 30 cents, which means what? If I put $1,000 into Dogecoin in January, right now you'd have $30,000. Now let's look at the other crypto, right? Let's look at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is about $33,000 per Bitcoin, right? In January of this year, 5 months ago, Bitcoin was about $33,000. So if you put in 1,000 back then, you'd have about the same right now. Ethereum is a little bit higher, and Dogecoin is a lot higher. So if you look at it, we're still in a very, very great place when it comes to the spectrum of the cryptocurrency world and Dogecoin.
Okay, so let's talk more about let's separate it. Do you know what whales do with Bitcoin? Have you heard of whales?
Yes.
So
yes.
Let me say this, and maybe you can add. So whale, as far as I understand, what do whales do? A whale is someone that might have like 1,000 Bitcoin, which is hundreds of millions of dollars worth, or 5,000 Bitcoin, or crazy amounts. So they can even come together, a few big whales, and say, well, the price is pretty high. Why don't we sell a huge amount of Bitcoin in one go? Let's say we'll send 10,000 Bitcoin altogether. So what happens? That creates, obviously, it pushes sends the price down, and then loads of dumb money, as they're known. It means people who recently got into crypto and still don't know what you just said, and they haven't actually experienced with their own eyes that it goes down and crashes, and then it goes further it goes back up more than what it was before. So they don't know that. So they see the price going down and they're like, oh no, the price is going down. I better sell what I just bought, a few months ago. And then they carry on selling, and then they push the price even further down. And when the price is really low, that's when those whales rebuy everything at a low price, and then they send the market shooting back up again. So that's a trick. Exactly. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I believe it's going to happen, right? A lot of people say pump and dumps, whales, like these things happen in every single crypto. It's not just Dogecoin. It's not just Bitcoin. Every single XRP, Cardano, like there's whales in every single one of these. And that's part of their tactics. They do that to make more money than they already have. And these are multi-millionaires. These are billionaires. These are people that can throw around $500 million, right? They can sell off $500 million, and to them it's nothing, and they could just buy it back at a lower price. Of course, that happens all the time. I feel as though if you can withstand that, if you can hold firm and still like diamond hand it, you know what I mean, all the way through, and you can just hodl it all the way through, we're going to the moon, baby. It's going to come back up, and it's going to go even higher than before. Yeah. You can look at stuff like Bitcoin. Where was Bitcoin 5 years ago? Where was Bitcoin 10 years ago? These things are going to gradually go up, much like the stock market. So if you can hold out for another year, another 2 years, 3 years, you're going to be at a very higher place than you were a few years before if you just hold on to your coins.
And if you're a hodler who happens to have spare cash in addition to the crypto, then you could join the ride with the whales and thank them for driving the price down, so you could buy cheap Bitcoins or Dogecoin and buy even more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, Dogecoin is on sale, guys. Dogecoin is on sale. Yep. So do your research, do your own due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Do not put more money in than you can afford to lose, but do your own research and see if it's worth it for you.
Another important thing, and you as an experienced stock market trader would know, which many people don't know, I think it's important we mention it. Somebody said to me, well, when they're selling, when the market, when loads of people are selling and the price is going down, well, there's somebody on the other side buying. So there's always buyers. So how come the price is going down? So what they need to understand, in the stock market, you have a line of people who are sellers. So they're saying, I have this amount which I want to sell for this price. And then there's the list of buyers who say, well, we want to buy this amount for of Bitcoin or Dogecoin for that price. Now, if it's a seller's market, I think, then the sellers are saying, well, we are basically, if the sellers are freaking out and they're desperate to sell, then the buyers on the other end are buying it cheap. They're basically saying, nah, we're not going to buy it. And then the seller says, what do you mean you're not going to buy it? I'll give you a discount. And then the buyer says, nah, I'm still not going to buy it. Well, I'm going to give you a bigger discount. Nah, I'm not going to buy it. And then, the seller keeps reducing the price. And only when it's really low, the buyer buys it. So yeah, there is a buyer on the other side, but he's the winner because he's not desperate to buy. It's you who's desperate to sell. Exactly. And when it goes up, it's the other way around. It's the buyers are desperate to buy, and the sellers are not desperate to sell, and then they're driving the price up. What can you say about that?
Exactly. I believe that happens too. Like it's one of those things where, sellers are going to sell, buyers are going to buy. If there's more sellers than buyers, the price goes down. If there's more buyers than sellers, the price goes up. It's a whole game of scarcity, and who wants to buy it, So at the same time, I look at it, and that's how the market goes, whether it's cryptocurrency and whether it's the stock market, right? So many similarities there. But if you look at the stock market and you got companies like Apple, companies like Google, companies like Tesla, where were they 10 years ago and where are they now? If you look at the stock market in general, it trends upwards. That's just the nature of how it works. And cryptocurrency is a lot like the stock market. So the only difference is the volatility is a lot higher, but next year, in a few years, it'll be higher than it was a few years before. So if you can withstand the volatility and you can just hold on, you're going to be better off for it.
Yep. Which brings me to the next question. Can you explain to us a bit about your diamond hands philosophy and what it means for those that aren't familiar with the term?
Diamond hands. They call me Diamond Hands Pro. Because I have a whole philosophy on diamond hands. So I actually have a video on YouTube explaining the story of diamond hands, which is me, and how I've been able to develop this philosophy. So it really comes down to when I started buying stocks in the stock market back in 2019, me buying Tesla for the first time and Uber and all these other stocks and trying to understand what the nature of the stock market is like. So seeing the dips, seeing the rises, not as big and low as it is in the crypto space, but that's where I got my training wheels. That's what I like to call it. I got my training wheels learning about the little dips, the little highs, and seeing what exactly happens to your money depending on when you buy and when you sell, right? So there's good news, there's bad news, that plays a part. There's the company and how much it produces, right? In Tesla's case, how many cars they produce. Do they hit their marks? Are they profitable yet? Like all these things play a role in whether or not the stocks do well or they don't. So me learning that in the long run, the best way for me to guarantee a win and to guarantee a lot of gain is to just hold on. If you found a company or a cryptocurrency that you believe in and you really truly think that, okay, I see this company like Apple, right? Like let's say 10 years ago, I bought Apple and I believe in Apple. It just came out with the iPhone, right? I believe in Apple. This is going to be the future. This iPhone is amazing. And I buy 1,000 shares of Apple. If I wait 5 years, those $1,000 are going to turn to 100,000 or 200,000 or $1 million, depending on what happens, right? So the same concept works or cryptocurrency. A lot of times early on, I used to buy and sell, right? So I would buy Tesla. Tesla would go up in price. I'd get excited about $1,000 or $500. I just made $500, $1,000. I would cash out and I would take the money. I wouldn't take it out of Robinhood. I would just, in Robinhood, I'd sell it and make a profit inside of Robinhood, right? So I would think, okay, that's great. I just made $1,000. It takes me 2 weeks to make $1,000 at work, right? I made $1,000 in like 5 minutes. Great. Now what? Am I going to cash out and then put it in the bank? And then it doesn't do anything? Is it going to stay in the bank? Or am I going to reinvest it? I'm just going to reinvest it, So what would happen is I would take these little wins, these little like profits, lock into my profits, like people like to call. I would do that, but then I would lose money because I would try to play the market. I try to sell when I think the news is going to go up. Like, I don't know what happens in the future, right? But let's say there's an earnings call and I think it's going to do very well. So what do? I put the money in, right? And then they don't do very well. The money drops. I lose money, right? Or I'm trying to play hopscotch. That's what I tell people. Don't double dutch the Doge. Do not play hopscotch with Doge. Like you have to, whatever it is that you believe in, you buy it. You hold it, you diamond hand it. And in the long term, you're going to win. In the short term, you might win a few. You might win sometimes and make some money, but you're also going to lose because you don't know what happens tomorrow. You don't know what happens next week. But a guaranteed way for you to really make money is to let it ride out for a year or 2 or 5. If you absolutely need the money for something, yes, take it out, use it, right? If there's an emergency. But if you don't need it, it's better than a savings account. You're going to leave it in the bank or you want to leave it in the stock market or leave it in cryptocurrency. You see what I'm saying?
Totally, and I'm a huge believer in what you just said. And I've seen, I was introduced to cryptocurrencies in July 2017, and Bitcoin was at like $3,000 or $4,000 at the time. And I remember, and I saw it going up to 19,200, and then I saw it crash down in the bear market of 2 years. But I believed in it, and people said to me, "Well, look, you lost so much money." And I said, "I didn't lose anything. I didn't sell. So how can I lose if I didn't sell?" And exactly. Look at it now. It's everything is in profit, no matter where you bought it from 2017. Exactly. You're in huge profits now. And I remember, looking at my phone every 10 minutes. Oh, it's going down. It's going up. What am I going to do? Yeah. And but no, don't sell. Hold, because I know the technology. I'm a huge believer in the technology. Yeah. And now, when it goes down, when it crashes 60%, I don't care. I really do not lose 1 minute's sleep. And another thing is trading. I've tried trading at the time, on Binance and, Huobi and all those, I forgot the names, CEX.io, loads of exchanges. And I just couldn't stand it. It's nerve-wracking.
I try to day trade
buy.
too.
Oh, put my order in now. No, selling it when it reaches that, and then make it an automatic buy. Screw this. I don't need this in my life. Just buy and sit on it.
Exactly. I went through that same thing, man. Like, I understand how stressful it is. You know, you wake up, that's all you can think about. You can't work, you can't do anything else. You're just thinking of the numbers and the prices, and you get so caught up, which is why I'm such a big, you know, I try to teach people diamond hands. I try to teach people the best way, your best option here is to just buy it and just hold it and just diamond hand it and stop thinking about it. Come back 6 months later. Don't even look at it. Come back in 6 months. Come back in a year and see where it's at.
So let's give the best piece of advice to people who haven't bought any cryptos yet. So let's talk about in general. Yeah, and this is not financial advice. So, I mean, yes. I would say, you know, I've heard different theories throughout the years. People who say, if you want to invest $1,000, let's say, then in percentage-wise, you should put, they used to say 70% into Bitcoin, and then the 30% spread it, amongst a few currencies. So I don't know if it's today any irrelevant to say 70% Bitcoin, and I'm a Bitcoiner. It's probably more like 50%, or in your case, you would say don't even buy any Bitcoin. But let's just name the first 5 currencies that you would buy if there was a gun to your head and you were told you must not buy any Dogecoin, but you have to buy 5 other ones. Here is $1,000. What would you buy?
I would buy Ethereum.
Yep.
I would buy Cardano. I would buy VET. I would buy TRX, and I would buy the 5th one. I'd probably buy Chainlink.
Okay, so there's 2 I'd like to ask about. TRX, that's Tron, isn't it?
Yes, that's Tron.
Why would you buy that? Why do you believe in it?
I believe in Tron.
Why? Isn't it I heard it's a scammy thing to do with like a...
Yeah, people say that, but if you really look into the ins and outs of it, it's actually a great technology. Same thing with Chainlink. Like, I believe in Chainlink. I think Chainlink is going to be big. Cardano's supposed to be Ethereum 3.0, or 2.0. Like, they're making Ethereum better and better and better, but Cardano's another huge one. I just feel like these are the ones that I've seen the trends on it. Like, I've looked at the graphs and I've seen it go up, much like Dogecoin, but these guys are actually like have blockchains behind it. They have the technology behind it, and they're going to do big things too in the future. Yeah. So
I've just heard of Tron, and then you said VER.
Yeah.
What's that? VET. What's that?
VET is one of those where what they do is they're actually helping with the blockchains. It's more of like a transaction thing, and what they do is when you buy crypto and sell the crypto, they kind of assist in the whole transition. So I actually, in the whole transaction, I feel like VET is also going to be a big one. There's going to be one of those things that you need to have it in order to make everything else run better, right? So like if I want to do a transaction with any type of crypto, it kind of in its blockchain makes it an easier transaction in general.
Okay. And what about Chainlink? I heard of them. That they
Chainlink has been, to me, I haven't really dove into everything that they're about, but I've been looking at the graphs and I've been looking at the trends for Chainlink, and I feel like it's one of those that I see it going so much higher than it is right now. I was also looking at Harmony. Have you heard of Harmony?
Nope.
Okay, Harmony is another one. So these like, there's another one called MetaBlock. I don't know if you heard of MetaBlock, but it's supposed to take into account all the medical records.
Uniswap and Polkadot and all those I heard, but not the ones you mentioned.
Yeah, so you're looking at like Litecoin, like these are the ones in the top 10, top 20, right? But you have other ones that are still on the rise. I was even looking at XRP at one point, and I was like, I don't know, XRP might be a good one, But it's just a lot of times it's a combination of me looking at the graphs, me looking at exactly what they do and what purpose they serve, and like what real world change they're going to make, and I see if that's a good look or not. Which is funny because Dogecoin doesn't have any of that. But if you look at Dogecoin, it is a carbon copy of Bitcoin, except it's the fun version of Bitcoin. And it's the one that I feel like will attract the most people. It's the most appealing for the youth, for the young kids, and for the old. Like it's not threatening. It's not, Dogecoin is just that happy-go-lucky, fun coin that is very cheap, and you can buy a lot for a little bit of money, and people just want to get into crypto. That usually is the first stop. That's the first one they go to.
Okay. I would like to recommend one. It's called
Okay.
Hedera Hash Graph. I highly recommend you look into Hedera Hash Graph. It's HBAR. HBEAR is the the letters of the actual cryptocurrency. If you look at the graph, you'll be shocked, and you'll probably buy a bit of it. And the technology behind it is mind blowing. The technology is the only crypto. It's the only DLT, which is decentralized something technology, ledger technology, which is not blockchain. Everything else is blockchain, but this is not blockchain. It's a hash graph. It's a completely different technology, and it's just mind-blowing. So I highly recommend you look into that.
You said HBARD?
HBAR. With no D. Just HBAR.
Oh, HBAR. Okay. And then how, did you buy into it?
Well, I didn't buy anything. I'm still considering.
Well, I'll look into it too, man. I mean, why not? I could put $1,000 into it and see what happens.
Check it out. But if you learn about the technology, you'll be blown away. Okay, so I think what else? Now if you had to replace of the five cryptocurrencies you said, now you have to drop one for Dogecoin. Which one would that be?
It would probably be Chainlink because it's the one that I know the least about.
Okay.
I would say Chainlink.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you invest in other crypto?
I mean, if you want, we can talk about. I like to call them poo-poo dookie coins, and what people call shit coins.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them out there right now, and people that are their first time getting into the crypto space, they don't know whether or not it's okay to buy those, right? Yep. So you have the Shiba Inu coin, you have Bonfire, you have Safe Moon, you have Elongate, you have all of these coins that are just brand new. They're only a few years old, or they're only a few months old. I always tell people to be very, very careful with brand new coins because they could easily be a rug pull. They could easily be manipulated. You know what I mean? Like the people who created it could just up and leave, and you lose all your money. Like it's very, very dangerous to get into brand new coins. I never recommend that.
And that was the point of asking you about the 5 coins you recommend.
Oh, okay.
Because at least people who are coming in, because they're like, oh, my neighbor told me there's this new coin that his mate is doing, but this is the next Bitcoin. Whenever I hear that, I'm like, dude, don't spare me. Yeah. Just don't even tell me. I'm not interested. Go and buy Bitcoin and do yourself a favor, or Dogecoin or Ethereum or anything like that. Right. Sure. Now, what about mining?
Mining, it's funny. I looked into that when I first started finding out about Dogecoin. I was like, I wonder if I could just mine it. To be honest, it's so much of a hassle to put together. I'm not a super techie guy, so I would have to learn how to put together a whole mining rig and everything. I actually saw that there's some cars that have a mining rig inside of them. I don't know if you saw that. I forgot what country it was, but and then with Dogecoin, it same thing with Bitcoin. It gets harder and harder to mine, and when you do mine, you don't make as much money. It's one of those things where if you like it, it's a hobby, do it. But it's very hard for me to take mining super seriously as like, let me replace my job. Let me just do mining 24/7, because the chances of you getting it and then how long it takes for you to actually make money is not enough for me.
Yeah. You need to understand, you need to be a techie, a real hardware geek who can actually build the mining rig and monitor it. And the way to, I mean, I was in that for a while, about in 2017, end of 2017 and half of 2018, when everything was going down. And we had these massive machines we bought with 10 graphics cards. And the thing is, these were like, they were mining, not Bitcoin. They weren't Bitcoin miners. So we had to mine other coins or altcoins. And the best thing to do was to find out about new poo-poo coins, as you say, and that are about to come out and are about to be listed on exchanges, even if it's a dodgy, unknown exchange. But, you have to go into Discord groups and talk to the actual people behind the coins. And let's say they said that on the 15th of whatever, we're being listed on this exchange. So we used to mine like a week before. We used to mine this poo-poo coin. And then you know what happens? The day they launch, they launch on a certain price and then it just crashes. So we just mined. And the day they launched, we sold everything. You know what I mean? Before the crash. And then we went to mine another poo-poo coin and another one. But you need to be on top of it. And some of them don't get listed. And then you ended up spending time mining it. You could have mined something else and you wasted all this time on electricity. nightmare. I am not going
So
anywhere
why
near
why
mining.
weren't you? So why didn't you just take all of those mining rigs and just mine Bitcoin instead?
Because they weren't designed for Bitcoin. You need to buy a Bitcoin
Oh, okay.
miner, it's called,
Got it.
from
Okay.
Bitmain. It's a special company that builds specific machines that mine Bitcoin. And these machines can't mine anything else. Some coins have a specific
Uh,
machine to mine them, and they can only mine that particular coin or maybe a few others that are similar. Bitcoin is very, very specific. And what we had was the altcoins mining rigs. Anyway, I've had enough with that. I'm not going anywhere near it. Maybe, and even if you buy today, from what I know, there's a website called whattomine.com, and you can add all the power of your computer and how much you're paying for electricity and how much you paid for the machine and everything, and it tells you exactly how much you're going to make per day. And it's like $10. 10,
Yeah, it's not
12,
worth it.
$15. So if you have
Not worth it.
1,000 machines, or if you have 100 machines, you can say, I'll make a lot of money, but it's space and problems. Anyway, not recommended for if you are not a proper techie who knows what he's doing and has the time to do it. So we are approaching the end of the interview. I'd like to ask you, what message or advice would you like to give the people that are new to cryptocurrency space and Dogecoin? And generally, why don't you address your brothers and sisters around the world, the English speakers, with a message, with a request, suggestion, or demand from you, Glauber Contessoto? The stage is yours. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So what I would like to tell everybody out there when it comes to cryptocurrency, especially if you're brand new to it, is be ready and be prepared for the volatility. The price that you buy in, the chances that it will drop below that are very high. So do not get scared. Do not panic sell. Do not be a paper-handed pansy, like I like to call them. Just make sure you buy, you hold, and you diamond hand, and just take a few deep breaths, relax, come back in a week, check it, see what happened, see if it went up and went down. And if it dropped even lower, buy the dip. Just buy the dip. And then you hold on to it and you diamond hand it and you wait it out. So a lot of people have this misconception that they can just buy into cryptocurrency and just make a bunch of money, right? That's what everyone gets into it for, right? But the reality of it is, wherever you buy it at, it's going to dip below it at some point. So if you could just withstand that and just wait it out, a few months from now, a year from now, you're going to be so far higher than where you bought it at that it's not even going to make a difference. So just have patience and have diamond hands.
Wonderful. What a lovely interview this was. I enjoyed every moment. I could carry on talking to you for hours. So, Glauber Contessoto, all I can say is thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. This was amazing. We Are Free TV. Shout out to you guys, man. Thanks for teaching people everything they need to know.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Take care and good luck with your further investments. And to you, our lovely viewers, this is not financial advice. As Glauber said, do your homework, but do it. And once you've done it, buy it. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.